Okay. Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld and joined again by the lovely Tanjila Islam. And I think we are going to have another exciting show with one of Tanjila's very special soul searchers, Luana Joya Lucia, all about Native American wisdom. So Tanjila, why don't you introduce Luana?
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks, Alan. I always love co-hosting with you. And Luana, it's so wonderful to be here with you today and really have everyone be able to share some of your wisdom. As you all know, this is a series that we are hosting for the Ascension of the Soul 2-day online summit that we are hosting through Soulsearch, which Alan is also a part of. And we're really excited to have so many incredible presenters who will be speaking about all these different aspects of ascension, sharing their wisdom, sharing who they are. And today we have with us our wonderful Luana.
Don't go through it so fast because we want to. What's that? Let's look at that poster first. That
sure.
Poster. The big poster is
go back to here.
There. And what's the dates of that?
So this is October 29th and 30th, and it's going to be 2 days online, nonstop downloads from yourself, Alan, Luana, Neil Gar, Deborah Giusti, Desiree and JJ Hurtak, Scott Katamas, Raquel Spring, everyone speaking about different aspects of ascension. We have Suzanne Ross speaking about virtuality and how we're all in a simulation. We have Raquel Spring talking about the astrological perspective of ascension. So we have so many different speakers coming in and giving us their downloads over these 2 days.
Great. Okay, and then scroll down to today's guest, you said?
Today's guest is, actually, I'm going to just pull up her Soulsearch profile here.
Also,
Luana.
how do we register for the event?
So how we register, you can just go to either portaltoascension.org and just register right there where it says early bird registration, $55, or you can also register from the Soulsearch website where we have register as well. So you can register either from Soulsearch Ascension Conference or Portal to Ascension. We're really excited to be collaborating to bring this exciting event forward for everyone.
Well, I think it's great what you're doing, Tanjila. You're really bringing our community together in the next level of togetherness. It's like the groundwork has been set the last 20 years with people opening up to spirituality. And then we are bringing the spiritual community together to meet and take it to the next level. So and then, of course, there's thousands of millions of people out there who have no idea what we're talking about, but we want to get them in because they're searching for their soul, as Rumi said, whether they know it or not.
Totally. And that's what Soulsearch is all about, is that, we have all these amazing practitioners, guides, modalities that most people around the world are not even aware of. So, people are going through their own dark night of the soul, their own personal questioning, crises, process, and they may think like they have no one to turn to, or only, a therapist or a physical doctor. But really, we have so many different modalities that are out there. And with Soulsearch, we're really, really, really committed to just bringing all of this out to the world, so that anywhere you are, anywhere in the world, you can tap in and start to begin exploring your own awakening and ascension process and connecting with different guides and healers and experiences that can help support you in the journey.
Great. No, I think it's a great vision. It's actually coming together. So introduce Luana, and because she is full of talent and wisdom.
Yes, I'm so excited. She has bursting with wonderful energy. So Luana Joya Lucia has coined the term divine tantra, as she is living life in ceremony every moment of her day. She has Apache, Tua Indian, and Santa Lucia tribal gypsy lineage running through her blood, embodying the archetypes of our great beloved mother, goddess of love, and the playful ecstatic, Luana has remembered who she is at her soul center. She has nurtured and nourished a joyous and profoundly loving relationship with the great mystery, and has become a vital bridge in our global community as she connects the 3D self from this world of form to the brilliant cosmic creation we all came from. She reminds you to treat yourself and others with deeper compassion and loving kindness. She is a beloved author of Gigi Loves Lulu, the Child in All of Us book series, an intuitive energy massage healing channel, and a Priestess temple guide for I Am the Great Beloved in an in-person and online temple workshop. So we're just so excited to have Luana with us today to really be speaking about all of your wonderful gifts, and welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Tanjila. I'm so grateful and honored to be present today here. And I'd like to thank your audience for being witnessing at this very moment all of the goodies that I have to offer. As you can tell, I am encurdled in deep joy. And that comes very naturally for me, which I'm very grateful that that is one of the gifts that I have to offer very sincerely. And so here we are. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks so much, Luana. And so you are going to be speaking about, and we don't want to give everything away, but at the conference coming up on October 29th and 30th, your topic is I Come in Peace. So yes. Where does that come from? What does that mean? Can you give us a little bit of a story behind that?
Yes. Well, I am I'm imagining thousands of human beings on this planet at this very moment, not to mention the ones that have come before me and the ones that will come after me. I have a deep remembrance of where I come from. And I remember with all of my heart and soul in distinct vision, the cosmos. I remember being with our beloved mother, and I remember being held by our noble masculine father. And so with that being said, there was a time in our world, in our existence, in humanity, humankind, that we were surrounded with deep peace. And it came very naturally. It was filled with compassion. It was penetrating with love and delight and just over the top kindness. And again, to reiterate, it came very, very naturally. And so I am so grateful and honored to have that deep remembrance, because in this 3D world, I don't know about you kids, but it can be extremely rocky. Like living in a volcano. And so what I have done is I have encountered and ingrained that memory, not only naturally as a natural state of being, yet consciously to be fully aware of it at every given moment.
And so Luana, if I could ask a question, not to interrupt you, but so when were you born remembering this connection to the Cosmic Mother, or is this something that unfolded for you? How did this come about?
You know, Tanjila, you are so intuitive, my love. I love you for that as well, because yes, I was born with this gift, the deep remembrance. I remember talking to my mother when I was about 4, and I said, remember Uncle Henry? And remember his funeral at that beautiful, old, archaic Catholic church? I remember what he was wearing. I remember the food they had to feast afterwards. She said, Luana, honey, you could not have remembered that. And I said, but why? I know that I was there. And she said, everything you're sharing is true, yet you were born 8 years after Uncle Henry died. And so that's just a little snuggle piece of it. Prior to that, again, like I was sharing, the relationship, the sultry, juicy relationship with our Mother, Father, God in the cosmos, I remember that. The feeling that I can go back to and sit with that in my inner garden, the inner temple that we all have. We are all a temple. And I go and sit with that in my inner garden to feel that feeling of safety. I don't have to go outside of myself to receive validation or to receive the I love yous. It's all inside and it just oozes out.
Wow. And so now that you have this gift that you were just born with, this feeling, this remembrance of the safety and connection, how do you bring that forth to others? How does that look for you?
Well, so because I have chosen, and it is a choice, to just bask in it and to allow it to grow inside of my cells at every given moment, it's the presence, it's the energy that exudes from people. And so with that being said, I have been told that just being in the presence of sincerity that I offer, the presence of deep compassion for the person that is wobbling, like I too wobble at times, and that deep love, even if someone isn't seeing their light and acting upon the light that they have, and they're at that shadow stage of living in the monster, I can still see their light. And instead of saying, what the heck is wrong with you? I say, what happened to you? Where, at what point did you forget? Where did you forget that you are a peaceful state of being?
Beautiful, beautiful. And so you mentioned that you come from this Native American lineage, and where and how does that fit into the work that you do and into this entire remembrance process that you actually embody and live in?
Oh, thank you. Well, I am very excited, and I'd be excited no matter what lineage I came from, whether it be German or Swedish or what have you. Yet I come from the Apache roots, and my great grandmother and my great grandmother and my grandmother and my mother are all medicine women. Especially the great grandmother, people would come from hundreds of miles away, I hear, to just again sit with her and to hold her hands and to receive the few simplified words that came out of that wise woman's mouth, to be healed from the rhetoric, from the trauma of the mind and the body, of what was witnessed.
Wow. So this is something that has been in your family for generations.
Yes, it is.
And are you in connection with your family? And do they work with you and through you in different ways? These strong women, medicine women, that have been working, with countless.
Yes. Well, my mother has since transitioned. And so she is in her natural bliss. And I invite her as my ancestor every morning that I am in ritual, to be with me, to be with her mother and her mother and her mother, going all the way back through the sands of time. And so you can only imagine that my house is full. I've got lots of ancestors here working with me.
Wow. And what does that bring to you on your day-to-day, in your day-to-day practice and in all your healing work that you're doing, knowing that you have your ancestors with you?
It's very romantic for me. I mean, right now I feel from my womb of silence, deep down my soul, that I want to cry, the tears of joy with you sharing that for me and reminding me even that. And they help me. And this is the beauty. I created a quote. I'm a poet without even knowing it, as we all are. My quote is that we were moving mountains before we thought we couldn't. And then my other favorite line that is ingrained in my heart and soul is, we are who our ancestors have become. And so they look at us like we are prodigies, and we are. We have so much power. Power is simply the intention and the love, the intention and the idea. And so we're full of it.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. And so you'll be speaking at our upcoming Ascension of the Soul conference. What does ascension mean to you? And what does ascension of the soul mean to you? And why is it important for all of us?
Right. Well, so ascension to me is so many different things. It's not just the rising, ascension, ascending is to rise, correct? Well, it's also to rise sideways, to expand. And then, to become that infinite, to remember that we are infinity and we are infinite. I am infinite and you all are infinite. And when we can remember that, just saying it and being in this, this beautiful embodied energy, it's like it helps me desire to do good, to be in this natural state of loving kindness. And so I'm not going to want to go out and holler at someone, even if they do rattle my cage. We have a mantra, a mudra that we do. It's putting our hand underneath our heart and then rising the other arm straight up, tickling the underbelly of our universe and our Mother, Father, God, and then bringing it straight down the front of our face. And then saying, I align with the great divine. And so,
divine.
Yeah, I align with the great divine. And then it's just that natural state of beingness, which is this ecstatic, orgasmic, I can say that, state of being.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So that's completely, amazing, incredible perspective on ascension and this awakening process that we're going through, really enveloped in pleasure. And
yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. And sheer delight. And one of the amazing and necessary nutrients for me personally is to trust that everything is unfolding just the way it is supposed to. Yes, and that's a big bite to chew on sometimes.
Exactly. And so what do you tell people, your clients who come to you, who are going through, difficult times and they're in that wobble? What are some of the practices and support that you can give to people during these journeys?
So I am within the 13 Moon Mystery School. And that is something that was created by a lovely, wholehearted woman named Ariel Spilsbury. And her mentee became Elaine Kalila Doughty. And I just returned from Nevada City in the Priestess presence. And I am a temple guide. And so what I do is, as the temple guide, we have gates that we need to walk through before we get into the temple, right? But we don't want to bring, our heaviness into the temple. We lay it at the door. And so it's like the medicine baskets, that my native Indians would have. I have them on doorknobs all throughout my home. And so at the gate, we say, as the gatekeeper, like, for instance, if I were the gatekeeper of loving kindness, I would say, I am the gatekeeper of loving kindness. My dear sister, brother, what do you have to lay down before you enter the gates of loving kindness? And so it's usually the opposite. You might have a heart that feels like it has hate starting to grow within it, or, a lot of trauma, a lot of unforgiveness. And so what we do is we lay that down before we enter the temple. And it sounds like it's just words, but you really lay it down. And yes, it can pop up again. And you know, like any dis-ease, until we fully pluck it from our garden, the inner garden, the weed will continue to grow. And so it's simply a practice, a continual practice with trust and faith.
Beautiful. And so when did you enter into this priestess work? And do you feel it's a continuation of the medicine work that's been in your family for generations?
Yes, I do. I found the priestess presence, and anyone can find it for themselves as well online, priestesspresence.com. I found it about a year ago, and I received the temple guide training. Then I took the 13, the Enter the Mystery. And now I have undergone the temple guide training certificate level. And there's just something so magical about these women, Tanjila. You know, life does take training, you know, to learn what works, what doesn't, you know, what is bountiful, what resonates. And so this for me resonates wholeheartedly. These priestesses that practice this very simple but sacredly deep journey are very welcoming. And it's not about like what we do in the soul search. It's not about the competition. Oh, no, 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 no. It's about the collaboration. It's about sister. I see you. I hear you. I will sit with you. And it's about just sitting with someone until they feel the fullness within themselves, inside of them. And it's just so beautiful. It's the way that we used to do it back in the olden days, you know, before we got swept up and we forgot the beautiful medicine. We are the medicine.
And so I see you are really embodying that. We are the medicine. And bringing that forth into the community and into the world. I know you wanted to share some drumming with us as well. Could you kind of let us know what that's about?
Okay. And so you let me know if, you know, it sounds like it's coming through okay, or if there's something I need to do on my end. So now this is the heartbeat of Mother Gaia and the cosmos. When, oh gosh, it's just so exciting. Father Sky, the cosmos, comes to Mother Earth. They make mad, passionate love. And it's about the holding, the dancing, the touching. It's the sensuality of it all. And it's so vibrant and so beautiful and so necessary. And we can have that within ourselves. After all, we are the great divine, and I am the great beloved, as well as you are. We don't have to go outside of ourselves for that better half that we have been talking about for years. We are whole. We don't need another half. And so let's see how this drumming goes online. Grandmother, I see you sitting in the east. You are so sacred. I feel you looking at me. Grandmother, I see you sitting in the north. You are so sacred. I feel you loving me. Grandfather, I see you holding grandmother. I see you wiping away her tear. I feel you holding her in your strong arms. Grandmother, I see you looking at him into his deep eyes, into his deep soul. I love you. I love you. I love you. I
Beautiful. Mm.
And anyone can do that. I mean, with their heart, with their soul. It doesn't have to sound as pretty as the next priestess. It's from the heart and from the soul. It's what's rising. And I have a new phrase. It's rise, present priestess, rise.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so with that drumming and with the sound and with the song together, we all rise. We all rise.
Yes. And our heartbeat, our body tempo is the drum. Anywhere we are, we can drum. With this, we have everything we need. Everything. And I have just really come into the fruition of that, into the knowledge that we don't need the drum, we don't need a bell. We can whistle, you know, I mean, we are the tuning fork. You know, it's so gosh darn exciting. And I have another quote that I do love. You know, it might not sound that tantalizing, yet we could burn 1,000,000 deaths and our soul will be more vibrant than ever.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. So timeless. And so the work that you do is very profound, that you're working with men and women, of course, but I know you also have a children's series and a children's book. So would you like to share with us about that and, you know, what you're bringing forth for children as well?
Yes. And it's also the child in every adult, you know, let's face it, we never grow up, or at least we hope we don't. Exactly. In my experience this time around in life, I was brought up, as much as my parents did their very best and their worst with what they chose to work with, right, as we all do, I was raised in a lot of drama, a lot of one-sidedness, a lot of patriarchy, and I didn't do well in it. As it's not natural, right? And so there was, in some instances, that even my own children discarded me and treated me poorly. And I wasn't perfect. Oh, I'll be the first one to say that. Yet it didn't help. It was like everybody was at each other's throat. You know, it was crazy. And so I chose to move forward from that, knowing that my door is always open as long as you come in peace. I come in peace, and I'm doing my very best to stay in that state of soul, of peace. And so with that being said, I have 5 grandchildren, and 3 of them I don't see. And it's coming, you know, every woman is different, and I'm the kind of grandma that if I could be there every day, oh my gosh, I would, you know, in a heartbeat. And so you can only imagine that it became torturous for me almost, that I didn't have these beautiful grandchildren to hold, to love, to witness, to just be this grandmother that I am, that comes natural for me. And so I thought to myself, what can I do to create this legacy that they will know me no matter what? And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to start writing books. And so I created this line called Gigi Loves, Gigi Lulu Loves. And it's about life. It's about people and what they go through, these natural things that we go through, and how to get through the wobbles. And it's quite honestly, I'm very, very tickled with it, because it's mostly for the adult that still has that trauma, you know, that poison within themselves, that pain, that when they read it, it helps distinguish that hot, torrid fire, you know, to where they can really feel at peace within themselves.
Beautiful. So this is a book for children as well as adults and the inner child in all of us.
Oh yeah, it's quite lovely. If I do say so myself, and of course it was channeled, you know, so I really had nothing to do with it. I just held the pencil. And I will say I'd like to bring in, I have 2 adult sons as well as another son who's in heaven. And the one who's in heaven, his name is Justin. And he visits me every single day.
Beautiful.
And he really does hold space for me. And he gives me those words of encouragement that otherwise I may not receive. And I just thank God and Goddess for this opportunity for me to be so open that I can receive those beautiful signs and messages, as we all can.
And so it's beautiful how you're so connected to your, you know, your son who's in heaven, your mother and your family members. And they're here supporting you in such an amazing way. So that is so beautiful to hear. And do you help and support people in just opening up and expanding their own connections too?
Oh, definitely. For 35 years, I've been in what I call the Healing Arts Garden. And I have come to, thank goodness, after 35 years, I'm hoping, a very, very specific and distinct, potent massage healing. And it has a lot to do with the ebb and the flow of the ocean's waves. And so when I do the massage, it's not just this, you know, it's more of a dance and it's a rocking, kind of like if a baby were having a hard time, you pick up the baby and you'd start loving it, right? And so with that, as including my deep, clear intention for that person, you know, whatever it is, whatever path they're on, to receive. I also have come across another golden nugget that I was given by our great divine. I do psychic readings through the body work. And so as I touch you, I see symbols, experiences, colors, you know, things that you have done, that you're doing now, and the opportunity of you to do in the future. So it's quite elaborate. I find it humorous because, again, we all have this, this power.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so you are able to do these readings and support people both through, you know, the psychic work, the spiritual support, the body work at all different levels, working body, mind, spirit.
Yes, yes. And I have stepped into the world of the Zoom, and I even see clients online. And what better way to do it? Because clearly we can see, so I'm in Sedona, Arizona, and I can see someone from Sweden, you know, or Guatemala. And it's just so exciting that, you know, in this big blue marble that we're in, everything is at our fingertips. And so what I do is we have time, you know, whether it be 90 minutes, I like to spend at least 90 minutes. I do have a 3-day event. It's called Metamorphosis. And that's where I spend 3 whole days with you, just sharing all of the goodies that have been gifted to me.
And what can people expect from the Metamorphosis?
Oh my goodness. I mean, sheer magic. So with me being stationed here in Sedona, you know, I have access to all of these beautiful vortexes and creeks and land that the Yavapai and Apache lived on, celebrated, ate, gave birth, made love, you know, their ceremonies. And so I take them to different places, and we're either in silence or talking, you know, them asking me questions, me getting hits, you know, I call them pings of what I can share with them. And it is just a constant 8 to 5 daily experience with them.
Wow, full immersion with you and into metamorphosis of their own being. Yes, fabulous. That is fantastic. And so for all of you watching, you have the opportunity to really dive deep with Luana if you visit Sedona. And also, if you are not able to visit Sedona by just visiting her online, you can find her on Soulsearch, of course, as well as on her website as well. So we're so excited just to be able to have you with us today. And we're excited, Luana, to be able to learn more from you at the Ascension of the Soul Conference as well, and all of your gifts. And here, and if I'm sharing my screen, I had wanted to just
Share your screen. And thank you, Luana, for being on the show.
Yes, yes. And I do have one thing that I'd like to share that's very necessary. Shall I do that now, Tanjila? It's just
that would be great.
Okay, it's something that's very near and dear to me that is imperative. It's a message for all of you listening. Here it goes. If there is light in the soul, there is beauty in the person. If there is beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. If there is harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. And I see it clearly.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing forth that peace and that beautiful message, Luana. And we're so happy that you are part of our Soulsearch family, as are you, Alan. And we're just excited to be able to have you as part of our conference, Luana, with your beautiful message of peace.
Definitely. And I'm looking forward to more soul searchers out there, Tanjila. So bring them on. Thank you, Luana. That was great. I always do a little Native American indigenous wisdom spot. So, because we're all part of the earth, right? I mean, that's our home planet. At least for me, it is right now. So yeah, but thank you, Tanjila. Always nice to host and co-host and be part of it together.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alan, and thank you, Luana. Thank you for your sharing and your gifts, and thank you for everyone for tuning in, either live or on the replay. And we'll be excited to see you guys as we continue with our interviews on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.